Hi, my name is Jordan Glenn, and I'm the head of science here at Supco. Welcome to Science Corner. Today, we are talking about beef organs. Now, if you spent any time in this space, you know that beef organs are having a moment. If you spent any time on health TikTok in the last couple of years, you've probably seen these testimonials. People swear that beef organ capsules would fix their energy, maybe their hormones, their brain fog. The hashtags behind beef organs have had hundreds of millions of views. I mean, and here's the thing, the theory behind it is not crazy. Organ meats are genuinely among some of the most nutrient-dense foods that humans can possibly eat. But the theory isn't crazy and this capsule will transform your health. Those are very different claims. Today, I want to walk you through what the science actually says, where it's solid, where it gets a little bit stretched, and what you should actually do with this information. So let's start with what's actually true. There's a lot. Organ meats, especially liver. They've been staples of traditional diets across virtually every human culture, even before modern food processing took over. The reason is pretty simple. The nutrient density in these organs is extraordinary. Beef liver is one of the best possible dietary sources of B12, vitamin A, copper, riboflavin, choline. A single 3-ounce serving delivers several times the daily value of B12 alone. Heart, one of the richest sources of CoQ10, a compound involved how our cells produce energy. The spleen contains some of the highest concentrations of heme iron of any food, and that's the form that your body actually absorbs most efficiently. So we're starting from a very, very solid place. These are real nutrients, they're in genuinely high concentrations, and they come from foods that humans have eaten for thousands of years. But here's where it gets complicated. A lot of organ supplement marketing leans on something that we call the like supports like principle. You eat heart to support your heart. You eat liver to support your liver. It sounds intuitive. It has roots in folk medicine across dozens of cultures. It's also not established by clinical evidence. The idea that compounds from a bovine organ will selectively concentrate in the corresponding human organ isn't really something that human literature can really confirm. And then there's the supplement format itself. Most organ supplements are freeze-dried. They're milled into powder, they're encapsulated. A typical serving of 3 to 6 capsules works out to roughly 1 to 3 grams of dried powder. And for context, an actual serving of liver is about 85 grams. You're getting a fraction of what you'd get from the food. And heat-sensitive nutrients like certain B vitamins can actually degrade during processing. Freeze drying does preserve more than heat drying, but neither perfectly replicates the fresh organ. The studies that do exist on beef liver, or organs in general, tend to look at whole food consumption. There are very few clinical trials on the supplement form specifically. So most of the benefit claims are inferred, not proven. The research base is a combination of known nutrient profiles, animal studies, and testimonials. The problem? Not a single one of those is considered a clinical trial. The part that actually surprised me when I dig into it, though, is there was a study examining 49 commercially sold beef liver supplements, found that 59% had at least one instance of non-compliance with US labeling regulations. And 85% of the nutrient content listed on the product labels was non-compliant. That's not a rounding error, that's not a few bad actors, but if you're choosing a supplement partly because of what's listed on the label, those numbers may not reflect what's actually in the product. That's a structural problem with the category at large. One more thing worth flagging specifically is vitamin A. Beef liver, very high in preformed vitamin A, which is the fat-soluble form that accumulates in your body over time. If you're also taking a multivitamin, eating fortified foods, or using other supplements that contain vitamin A, daily organ supplement use can push your total intake past safe levels. Too much preformed vitamin A over time has been associated with liver damage, bone loss, and even serious risks during pregnancy. This isn't a reason to avoid organ supplements entirely. It's a reason to think about your total vitamin A intake from all sources, not just one. So where does that leave you practically? If you have a documented deficiency in iron, B12, copper, a well-sourced organ supplement from a brand with third-party testing, remember that third-party testing, is a defensible option worth discussing with your doctor. If you're looking for general health optimization, the case is quite a bit weaker. A targeted supplement for a specific deficiency you actually confirmed will almost certainly serve you better than a broad organ blend with label claims that may or may not hold up. And if you're pregnant or you're on medications, the vitamin A concentration in liver-based supplements warrants a very specific conversation with your provider before you start. So when I first saw beef organ supplements taking off, my honest reaction, it wasn't really skepticism, it was mostly curiosity. It's a new area, it's interesting, it's got a nice story. The nutritional case for organ meats is real. The idea that we've quietly engineered them out of the Western diet while overall health has declined is kind of worth sitting with. But there's a meaningful gap between organ meats are nutrient dense and this capsule will fix your energy and your hormones. The first is pretty well established. The second, unfortunately, is a marketing claim that clinical science hasn't quite caught up to yet. What pushed me more toward the skeptical side of my position is the labeling data. This is a new area. There's a lot going on. When 85% of nutrient content claims across 49 products come back non-compliant, that's also a signal worth paying attention to. The trend is pointing at something real. Organ meats have legitimate nutritional value, but pointing at something real isn't the same as proving it works in capsule form at the doses being sold. So be curious, be open, and update when better evidence shows up. Don't let an algorithm make decisions about what goes into your body before the science actually has had a chance to weigh in.